All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. It has been an incredibly long time, but we are now back with the start of the 26-27 season. These Champions League qualifiers always give us a chance just to get our way, feel our way into the new campaign. Tonight, Chelsea are in Champions League qualifiers against Real Sociedad. Very excited, Harry. Obviously, Chelsea tonight playing at the Cherry Red Records Stadium in Wimbledon rather than at Stamford Bridge, hosting Real Sociedad, a side who haven't been in the Champions League for the last few years, and it does feel like a bit of an unknown tonight for Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that this is unfamiliar territory for the Blues, so used to finishing top of the UWCL, winning the league title, but also automatically qualifying for the Champions League. But finishing third last season, and they're going to have to work for it a little bit this time around. 2 legs to beat Sociedad and get themselves into the league phase. But yeah, unfamiliar opponents, never played against Real Sociedad before, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these two sides match up. Both sides to returning to competitive action tonight, so it is a little bit of an unknown. Of course, Chelsea the favourites, but football's a funny game sometimes, and as I say, first game back, all sorts of things can happen.
Yeah, indeed, and I think it is very difficult to call how this game will go. You've got a Chelsea side who need to be really in the Champions League, but a Sociedad side that have that ambition to be in Europe's premier competition, a team that have managed to break into the top 3, getting ahead of Atletico Madrid last season. They'll be really keen now they're here to get into the Champions League proper. With that said, let's get into the lineups ahead of this one. It is Chelsea, the home side. We'll start with the Blues. A 4-2-3-1 for Chelsea today. In goal, Hannah Hampton, of course, keeps her starting spot in the sticks. In the back 4, then, Carpenter, recently named in the PFA Players Team of the Year. A back line consisting of captain Naomi Girma alongside Berman and Katie McCabe making her first start for Chelsea at left back. In midfield, a pivot of Walsh and Shocker Nusken with Lauren James playing in the number 10. And then on one wing, Sondi Baltimore, on the other Alyssa Thompson, and leading the line, Aggie Beever-Jones. Couple injury omissions for Chelsea, of course, as well in Erin Cuthbert, Myra Ramirez and Manaka Matsukuba. But outside of that, Chelsea with a full-strength squad and is a very strong bench as well. Who are the players you are most excited to see this evening, Harry?
Well, I think there's quite a few. It's a very, very strong Chelsea side, as you say. Of course, Katie McCabe is going to be a bit of a highlight for a lot of people. Her first game in a Chelsea shirt since joining from Arsenal, and I think that she, although it is a weaker opposition, she'll want to get a good performance under her belt. Aggie Beever-Jones, of course, at the start of last season, came out the blocks, had a brilliant purple patch, and this feels like the perfect game for her, while Myra Ramirez is still on the sidelines. The perfect game for for Beever-Jones to get firing against a weaker opponent and really cement herself as Chelsea's number 9 to start this campaign. So I think they're the two for me. I think the third one, which is quite interesting, is Naomi Girma back into the Chelsea backline and with the captain's armband. Very interesting to see from Bompastor. Of course, she said a week or two ago that she hadn't quite decided her leadership group. I think we're all I think that it's one of those where if we can see Girma introduced into that core group, could be very interesting. So a big role for the youngster tonight, not only because I still think there's a lot of people expecting her to deliver in a Chelsea shirt, but to be given the armband is a strong responsibility.
I think calling it a 26-year-old youngsters a little bit, but yeah, we've not seen much of her yet in the WSL. It's a big responsibility. She is a key part of the WNT, though. We know she's a leader there, and I think that should translate across to Chelsea. I'm very intrigued to see Girma and Berman as a partnership, because 2 left-footers in a centre-back partnership is a little abnormal. You would assume it's more down to fitness. Natalie Bjorn and Khadija Buchanan both recovering from injuries still, so you'd assume it's because of that and that they won't be playing Berman and Girma every week. But yeah, excited to see how the two work together. And as you say, I think back, you mentioned Beever-Jones there, I think back to United playing in the qualifiers last year, and Turner and Mallard both had incredible games against Brann and then went into the season really sharp. And I wonder if that could be a similar effect for the likes of Thompson, for Beever-Jones and for Baltimore, starting as that front 3 this evening. And let's take a look then at the visitors. For Real Sociedad in a 4-3-3 this evening. In goal it is Arula, a back 4 of Camino, Aparicio, Claudia and captain Vicente. A midfield 3 of Ainhoa Campo, Cajanova and Fernandez. And a front line of Aparicio, Marin and Marcos. I mean, a couple familiar names in there. Claudia Fernandez, a centre-back, and Clara Cajanova, both players with a lot of experience. They are only 2 players in this Sociedad side that have played more than 5 times in the Champions League before. No spot on the side for the young left back that was in fact not even in the squad. The young left back that I was excited to see from Sociedad. That Sociedad side, though, a lot of players missing from last season. They've lost Edna Imade. They've lost Andrea Jacinto, arguably their best 2 players, not part of the squad this season, which does happen when you have a massive season over form, but still a strong side for Sociedad.
Yeah, they're a decent team. You say they've lost a couple of star players that they're the kind of players that you look at, and if they were still at Sociedad tonight, they're the kind of difference makers that could give them half a chance. But it's still a very, very decent squad. You know, they finished 3rd last season, only 6 points behind Real Madrid in the Liga F. So, you know, that was based on the squad, not just a couple of individuals. So it's still a decent team. They'll look to keep themselves in the tie, you feel, in this game tonight, away from home. They'll back themselves if they can try and get something from the contest this evening that they can then take a decent result back with them to Spain next week. But we'll see how it goes for them. You say that they've been kind of ransacked a little bit this summer with their star players leaving, but it's a decent core, and if they can defend as a unit, make it as difficult as possible for a Chelsea side that won't be firing on all cylinders, let's be honest, because it's the first competitive game of the season, and if they can come away with a draw or nick something, then they've got a big chance next week. But for them, for Sociedad tonight, it's very much about keeping themselves in the tie and keeping the aggregate score competitive going into the second leg.
Yeah, indeed. And Sociedad are a side who are set up in a way that can frustrate Chelsea. They are a good defensive team. They're quite transitional as well. And I think they'll try and hurt Chelsea on the counter-attack. And that is where I think Chelsea's weakness did lie at times last season. Whether or not they've got the pace to offer that full threat remains to be seen. But still a decent Sociedad side that are set up in a way that could hurt Chelsea. A few people asking about the Chelsea bench. Melvin Mallard is named amongst the substitutes. It is Spencer, Peng, Lucy Bronze, Bjorn, Buchanan, Lass, Sawi, Potter, Captain, Dragoni and Hermano, and of course Melvin Mallard. Lots of quality off the bench if Chelsea do need it tonight, and lots of options to rotate in their players. We've seen performing really well throughout pre-season. Hopefully we see a couple more debutants. Obviously only one debutant in the starting 11 in Katie McKay, but a lot of players on the bench that come on have an impact.
Yeah, I think that Bompastor very much look at tonight and across this tie and think that if Chelsea can get out the blocks quickly, get a couple of goals in the first half, not only can they then rotate in the second half tonight, but then they can also put out a weaker starting 11 in next week's tie, with the fact that they will also kick off their WSL campaign 4 days later. So I think that for Bompastor and for Chelsea, it's very much about getting the job done tonight so they can afford to rest up and focus on the WSL opener that is happening in 9-10 days time now. So that'll be the plan, and it's a big squad. It's a very strong squad for Chelsea, and it would be nice to see some of the new signings get involved. Different situation for Sociedad. Their season starts this weekend, so they've got their Liga F campaign kicking off in between the two games. Chelsea obviously have got the WSL season kicking off after the second leg. So it's the scheduling there. I mean, Chelsea got a deeper squad, and they don't have to worry about the WSL opener going into this weekend. So Sociedad, it's not nice for them to be making the trip over to London 3 or 4 days before they start their domestic season. But as I say, I think that they'll put full focus into this game and try and give themselves a good chance at getting into the Champions League.
Yeah, and I guess you can also look at the other way. With them having that game in between the two legs against Chelsea, do they potentially give themselves another game to get up to speed, perhaps then look sharper in the second leg? So I think for Sociedad tonight, they've got to put themselves in a position where the second leg's competitive. They've got to force Chelsea to bring their strongest 11, which they won't want to do, because Chelsea will be in that mindset tonight where if they can make it comfortable, if they can get to 3, 4, 5, then they can look at starting players like Dragoni and giving them those opportunities in Sociedad and resting some of their starters. So yeah, that will be Chelsea's goal tonight. And I think Sociedad's goal is very much to disrupt that, to make life difficult for Chelsea. They are away from home in this first leg. If they can get a draw, that's the dream. If they can minimise the loss as much as possible, that's what they've got to aim for, you would feel, in this kind of game. But yeah, just waiting now for the live stream to become available. As we expect with this kind of game, it is going to be right up to kickoff. So in the meantime, let's get into some predictions. The first predictions of the season, Harry. As always, we're going to predict the score for this game. If you're watching along and want to get involved, let us know your scoreline prediction in the live chat. The poll in chat, 94% Chelsea, 6% Sociedad. I think that was fairly expected.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will expect Chelsea to win tonight. They are the big favourites coming into this one. I think that I'll follow suit in my prediction. I don't see a way that Chelsea don't win tonight. I think they've got too much quality, not only in the starting 11, but within the whole squad to see off Sociedad this evening. Although I do think that the Spanish side will put up a decent resolve. So I will say Chelsea 3-0. Against Real Sociedad, and I'll go for a beever-jones brace and a goal from Dragoni off the bench to seal a 3-0 victory. A nice, nothing outrageous, but a nice, comfortable lead for the Blues to kick off competitive action and to give them a nice aggregate margin going into the second leg next week.
Yeah, don't mind it overlooking a beautifully sunny Wimbledon, which I think will be the only time we say that sentence this season. In terms of my prediction, I'm going to say 4-0 Chelsea. I think it will be comprehensive today. I think they will want to make a statement, really, that the Champions League qualifiers are not the stage they want to be competing on. They want to get a few goals, want to make it comprehensive. I think the fact they put out a full strength 11 as well very much makes that point. So I'm going to say 4-0. I'm going to say a brace. You said beever-jones, didn't you? I'm going to say a brace then for someone different because I want to be different. I'm going to say a brace for Sunday Baltimore. I think this is going to be a big season for Baltimore because they goal from Lauren James because she always is involved with the goals. And I'm going to say off the bench a goal for Melvin Mallard. I think she did really well at the start of last season. I think she'll start fast again for Chelsea this campaign. A few predictions coming into the live chat. Thank you everyone that's getting involved. It's great to see so many people here for our first stream of the season. Jeremy going 2-0 to Chelsea. Evan saying Chelsea 5, Sociedad 0. A massive win there from Eamon. A 2-1 win, says the giver has landed for everything. Horizon saying, I predict one of the boys will say 2-0 and the other will say 3-0. Wrong on that prediction, but one of us did say 3-0. Phil saying, I think 4 or 5 tonight. Nigel saying 3-0 Chelsea. And I appreciate Nigel saying, can't wait. I was very much looking forward to this. Absolutely love that. And yeah, very excited to get back into the women's football season. UWCL action next weekend. We've got this 2-leg Champions League qualifier ahead of that. And of course, a load of Champions League qualifiers already going on, which we will keep tabs on. Wolfsburg having no issues at the moment against Inter Milan. PSG, though, not quite as fortunate. 1-1 away at Eintracht Frankfurt. Ajax also in action against Real Madrid, probably the biggest ties of the night. And Bolton versus Juventus as well, kicking off a little bit later. So we'll be keeping tabs on those games as well.
Yeah, I think that Chelsea, it's quite a nice tie. Yes, it's a Sociedad side who are also entering in at the same phase, but I think that kind of benefits the Blues. I think that I think sometimes that if you are a side who enter in this round, if you're playing a side that have come through the rest of the qualifiers, that team who maybe entered in the second round, they've had 2 or 3 fixtures to get them ready for when they meet you. So I think that Chelsea playing another side that haven't played a competitive game yet, it's actually the nicer draw, because although you'd maybe argue that Sociedad have a slightly better quality than some of the sides who have come through the second qualifying round, those sides have had 2 or 3 games to get themselves up to speed, and I think that is quite important when we're talking about these opening sets of fixtures. But yeah, the amount of quality that's in these qualifiers is incredibly strong. To think that one of Frankfurt and PSG won't be in the competition, to think that one of Real Madrid and Ajax won't be in the league phase, there's some big teams there. So drawing Sociedad, it's not bad for Chelsea at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very winnable draw. I think there's games in there that would have been much more difficult. I think they'll be fairly happy playing Sociedad. Won't be easy at all, but I think it's a game that Chelsea will very much back themselves to win without too much difficulty. But yeah, we are ready to get underway here at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. Chelsea versus Real Sociedad. Chelsea at home in this first leg of the Women's Champions League qualifiers. And hopefully we're tracked to a great season opener, really. It almost feels like a curtain raiser for the season. Not quite the start of the campaign, but as I say, getting us into the campaign nicely. And it's going to be Chelsea to get us started in this game. beever-jones from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle to get us kicked off. The referee checking the goalkeeper's ready to start. And beever-jones, well, can she kick off this campaign as quickly as she did the last? Scored in Chelsea's opener a year ago against Manchester City. Could she do the same in this game? And it will be beever-jones from the middle. Referee completing her final checks. And we are now underway in this Champions League qualifier. It's the third round of qualifying. Chelsea taking on Real Sociedad for a place in the 26-27 UEFA Women's Champions League. And it's Naomi Girma catching the Blues today on the ball. Nusken bouncing it back to Girma. Looks along the line and shifts it into Berman. And now McCabe. Into Thompson. Thompson trying to come inside quickly. Ball bobbling its way to Santi Baltimore. Back to Thompson. And now it's with Walsh. Lovely drag back from Kira Walsh to evade the pressure. And Chelsea maintaining possession. Berman. Into McCabe. Trying to switch the play here, Katie McCabe. It's a lovely switch. And it finds Ellie Carpenter on the opposite side. Now James. Operating off the right flank. Lifts the ball in towards Thompson at the back post. Who can't quite get there. It bounces through. And out for a Sociedad goal kick.
Yeah, good start from Chelsea. Immediately getting on the ball as we expect. And it's not a bad ball in from Lauren James. I think it was towards beever-jones, who had moved too early, so allowed it to run to Thompson, but was never really gonna bounce into the path of the Chelsea winger. But I tell you what, still can't get used to the sight of Katie McCabe in a Chelsea shirt. It's still very weird. But what it has done is it's pushed Baltimore further forward, and that'll be interesting to see how Sonny Baltimore fares in a more aggressive role.
Berman asserting herself nicely in midfield. Nusken. Back to Kira Walsh. And now with McCabe. Be already watching a couple left footers play at centre back. It is a little bit unnatural. Berman across the line into Naomi Girma. And Girma returning to Hampton. Berman looking to the left-hand side. Opts against it and goes back into Hannah Hampton. Into Girma. Looking down the line. Naomi Girma trying to be direct, but it's cut out. Girma poking it forwards. Nusken over ahead. Carpenter contests for the ball, but that's deemed a foul. And it will be a Sociedad free kick.
Yeah, I think Girma's knocked forwards there. Was blocked by her own teammate in the end. But again, I think this is going to be the pattern that we see throughout the night. Chelsea dominating the ball and just trying to find a way through what... Well, it was a 4-3-3 on paper, very much more a 4-5-1 without the ball for Sociedad. Now she's going to try and sit deep and absorb a bit of pressure.
Arula to the right-hand side with Aparicio. Going to try and be more direct now, Marion. Can't get there as Girma wins the header. And here is Sjoka Nusken. Nusken hands all over her, trying to find Thompson with the pass. Cut out nicely, though, by Camino. And now Aparicio playing it down the line. And her namesake can't quite get there. And out for a Chelsea throw-in here with Katie McCabe. McCabe looking to go down the line. And it's going to run to beever-jones, who's made this run into the channel. Now to Santi Baltimore playing in that central role. Shifts it towards the oncoming run of McCabe. Back to Baltimore. Now Thompson. Now Walsh offering an option. Girma. Spreads it wide. Chelsea switching from left to right. Carpenter now with space down the line. Solid defending, though, from the captain, Vicente, who's able to knock it out of play.
Yeah, good defending on that left-hand side, but Carpenter, again, is going to look to get beyond Lauren James on that right-hand side. Is going to come inside and try and give space for Carpenter to bomb up the line.
Beever-Jones into Carpenter, and now James. Dropping off there, trying to create space for the cross. Able to poke it forwards, looking for Baltimore. It's cut out, though. McCabe wins the header. Here's Thompson. Trying to go back to Katie McCabe and does so. Pass inside now to Walsh. Walsh looking to slip it in behind. A fantastic pass into Thompson, who lays it to Beever-Jones. Can she find the shooting opportunity? Flag is up. Beever-Jones had just gone too early there and is flagged offside.
Yeah, right decision. Beever-Jones had just moved beyond the last defender. Thompson does well. It's a great ball into Thompson down this left-hand side, and I think she's just got to realise that she needs to hold on to it and let Beever-Jones get back into an onside position. But Sociedad really not using that offside free kick very well.
Fantastic pass, though, from Kira Walsh. Finding Thompson between the lines. Lovely slide rule pass. McCabe with the throw-in, trying to find Aggie Beever-Jones, but it's good defending in there from Aparicio. And now Sociedad can build out from this position. Camino trying to go down the line. Berman wins the header. Kahinova can't quite get there ahead of Nusken. Baltimore poking it forwards, but it's won back well by Vicente. McCabe trying to bring it down, but can't. Here's Kahinova. And Camino lifting it down the line. Can't find Aparicio. And out for a Chelsea throw-in. At the moment, Sociedad just struggling to find those forward passes. They're trying to be direct, trying to go long. At the moment, though, just losing that physical battle to Chelsea.
Yeah, and then that's where the problems come for the underdogs in these kind of ties, is that they're defending pretty decently at the moment, but if they can't get those forward passes together, they're going to find themselves under all kinds of pressure, and they won't get out, and eventually they will succumb to the Chelsea attackers. But yeah, they just can't seem to be able to make it stick and just to take the pressure off the back line a little bit.
Indeed, Hampton now with the ball. Into Germa. And now to James, who's dropped in, tries to play it around the corner, who's dispossessed in there by Marcos. Driving the ball forwards here, the Sociedad winger, Germa comes across. It's good defending from Naomi Germa, but she's forced to put it out for a corner.
Yeah, like that. Really like that. It's good defending from Germa, but it's positive from Sociedad, and that's what they need to do tonight. Not just be too focused on keeping the ball out, but yeah, positive from Marcos and Germa. Times the challenge well, but yeah, forced to put out for a corner, and it presents an opportunity for Sociedad then if they can use this set piece.
Indeed. Chelsea weren't incredible defending set pieces last season. Now, it was they're a little distracted here by apparently all the fans moving behind the goal.
Yeah, I think everyone's realised that with the fact you can move all the way around the ground, that you don't need to sit where you need to sit, and you can sit wherever you want.
Ball delivered in towards the front post. Kahinova trying to flick it on. Ball swung in from deep, and it's dropped in. And Real Sociedad take the lead in this tie, completely against the run of play. The ball is just, it hangs in the air for so long, and Hannah Hampson can't do anything there to deny the effort of Aparicio. Picks up the pieces off the corner, and no one from Chelsea closes it down quick enough. And for the 8 travelling Sociedad fans, what a moment that is.
Wow, massive goal. And definitely against the run of play, against all the predictions, the visitors have got themselves a goal. And as I say, this is what happens. You play positively, you win set pieces, and set pieces breed chances. And, I mean, is it a cross? Is it a shot? I'll have to find out on the replay, but it was just lifted back towards goal. And yeah, whether Hampton's been caught out by the sun or just misjudged the flight of the ball, I don't know. But
I don't think she was anywhere near it, to be fair. And apologies, I say Noah Marin, who got the goal, not Aparicio. The striker, not in the position you'd expect a striker to be in, but producing an incredible goal. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any replays tonight, but that is a goal that deserves to be replayed over and over again, because what a goal that was from a Noah Marin. And Chelsea now with work to do. That's the first time Sociedad have really come forwards in this game. But no one closing that effort down, and Chelsea punished for it. Sociedad in possession now. Vicente playing it down the line. Claudia Kahinova's going to get there. And now, ball slipped in behind by Marcos, looking for Marin, and suddenly Sociedad have found some confidence. And Chelsea looking a little bit shaky. Here's Germa. Nusken bounces it back to Kira Walsh. Slips it out to the left-hand side. Here's McCabe. Into Berman, who wanted to play that ball more directly. Gives it back to McCabe. Lovely bounce pass inside to Baltimore, who'll slip it down the line. Here's Thompson. And that's really good defending in there from Fernandez. Claudia Fernandez gets back in, but can't stop it going for a corner. Alyssa Thompson there was looking to cause some damage, but some great defending there from the experienced centre-half. And it is out for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, good defending. She's patient. She just stands Thompson up, makes forces Thompson to make the decision. And well, Alyssa Thompson didn't really make her mind up there, and meant the ball could be won back. But Chelsea not direct enough. Haven't started brilliantly.
Lauren James over this then. Not a bad delivery. Headed away by Sociedad. Beever-Jones looking to keep it alive. Can she get the shot away? Gets under that one. And Beever-Jones sending it up into the top of the stand. Not what she would have wanted to do with that opportunity.
Yeah. And that's what you expect in these kind of games. First competitive match back, there's going to be a bit of rustiness and a few wayward shots and misplaced passes. But I think the problem is, because we've just seen Sociedad go and hook one in the top corner, there's a bit of an expectation now.
Now Sociedad playing direct again, and here is Aparicio trying to find a teammate, blocked by Kira Walsh, and it will be another corner for Sociedad.
Yeah, Chelsea just... It's almost too offensive there. I mean, Kira Walsh having to get back in because both Berman and McCabe have been caught out too high up the pitch. And, of course, Chelsea want to be aggressive, want to get numbers forward and get the ball forward, but if it means that Sociedad are going to get in behind every time they play the ball long, it's going to cause some issues.
Marin, now Aparicio, trying to lift it into the box, and, well, not quite able to emulate the effort of her teammate there. She looked for it, she went for goal from range, but couldn't get any height on that. And it's a Chelsea goal kick.
I think they're trying that out from anywhere at the moment, and, well, it worked once, why can't it work again?
Indeed, who can blame them? Berman now looking to lift it in behind, and Thompson's been released. And the fullback isn't going to be able to keep up with her. Thompson now on the left-hand side. Into Sondi Baltimore, needs support, and has Katie McCabe. McCabe clips it inside. Walsh lets it run across her body, looking for a forward option. Baltimore, Walsh, wide into Thompson. Squares up to the fullback here. Thompson goes around her, cuts it back. Baltimore should score off the upright. Finds the power, but can't quite find the back of the net. Off the underside of the bar from Sondi Baltimore. And that really should have been the leveller.
Yeah, has to be a goal. You know, going to be critical Baltimore here, but that has to find the back of the net. A player of her quality in that kind of area, in the 6-yard box, completely unmarked, had enough time to take a touch and pick her spot, and she's just absolutely smashed it against the crossbar. That's not good enough. That should be in the back of the net. And yeah, just goes for power. I'm not really sure why. There's a body on the line, there's a goal kick there as well, but if you put it in the right spot there, they're not going to get anywhere near it. Bizarre decision to go for pure power there, and that really should be 1-1.
At that close range, you've just got to get it on target.
Yeah.
The defenders are throwing themselves around wildly, but they're not going to be able to make a proper attempt to block the ball. Just got to get that on target. And Baltimore just getting too much on it.
Yeah, Sociedad won't get away with many more of them tonight.
Yeah, looking back at that goal, I mean, I have to say, I'm not really sure who can do much more about it. The ball comes off the box wildly. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's nothing Hampton can do about that one.
Yeah, it's more of a chipped effort, if anything. The body shape looked like a cross. I think it was a shot because it was, it was just a really bad cross. But I think it was a shot just chipped into the far corner. And yeah, I mean, Hampton's not really going to get anywhere near that. We couldn't have been further in the top corner if Sociedad had tried.
Germa back to Hannah Hampton. Here is Villa Berman. And now McCabe. Down the line into Baltimore. And well, Camino, they're trying to call for offside, but I think that was a very optimistic attempt back to McCabe, and she goes all the way back to Hannah Hampton. And now Germa, Chelsea playing to the right-hand side. Carpenter, Germa. Lifting it over the top, and beever-jones will chase this ball down the channel, and a bit of a defensive miscommunication, but it's really good goalkeeping from Arula, who had that ball punted back to her and chooses just to knock it out of play.
Yeah, again, commanding goalkeeping, good decision. Bit of a mess between the defenders. She thinks, I'm not even going to bother, and I'll just smash this out of play. With beever-jones hounding. That was, just smart.
Here's Nuskunt trying to play it through the lines, and well, the pass towards Carpenter is blocked by Lauren James. And that's perhaps that pre-season rustiness that you expect to see. Players getting in each other's way, not quite being 100% sharp.
Yeah, exactly that. You expect that kind of thing.
Vicente trying to play direct, but can't keep her long pass on the field of play.
I'm sure there's a lot of people with Chelsea persuasion right now who are probably sat there getting quite angry at every time there's a misplaced pass or a bit of rustiness showing. But if it was 0-0, then no one had a problem with it. And I think that's the way Chelsea look at it. Sociedad have had one shot. It flew into the top corner. Not much you can do about that.
Thompson to Baltimore, trying to go down the line. She's forced into the corner here, Sondi Baltimore, and now needs support. Ball poked away from her. Falls to Thompson. Now McCabe. And here's Walsh. Plays it through the lines to Thompson. Well held up. Nusken into beever-jones. Great footwork from beever-jones to hold on to possession. Back to Walsh. And now McCabe. Walsh again. Looks to the right-hand side, decides to play to James. Lovely footwork, trying to link up with Thompson. Now Walsh tries to find McCabe with a pass, but it's just too far ahead of Katie McCabe. And Chelsea giving away possession. Sociedad coming forwards. Aparicio tries to play the forward pass, cuts out well by Berman, and Chelsea back on the ball.
Yeah, Chelsea almost just need to slow it down a notch. They try, it just feels like they're moving it too quickly. They've got to understand the situation that you're 15 minutes into your first competitive game of the season. There's going to be a bit of rustiness. You don't need to move the ball at 100 mile an hour to play through this Sociedad team.
Here's Carpenter on the right-hand side. Can she pick out a teammate in the box? It's blocked. Falls back to Carpenter. Poked had a play by Vicente, and it will be a Chelsea throw-in. A good position for this throw as well. Carpenter thrown into the box. It's going to drop now for beever-jones. Keeps it under her control. Just loses the physical tussle. Now Sociedad will look to break. Kahinova. Back to Claudia. Playing it forwards and cut out well by McCabe. McCabe pulled back, but she'll continue her run. Here's Baltimore, and that a fairly aimless pass, really, from Santi Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, that's nowhere near good enough from Baltimore in there. Just try to take it on the swivel and put nothing on the pass.
Clearance from Sociedad drops to Walsh, and Chelsea keeping possession. Probing, waiting for space to open up. Germer into James. Tries to play it into the box early, and it's blocked away without issue. And now Kahinova gives it back to her teammate. It's picked off by beever-jones. Really intelligent play. Here's Thompson. Now Walsh trying to play it out to the right-hand side. I just don't think she saw the opponent there who intercepted that pass. And now James back to Germer. Berman. To Germer again. And now Viola Berman. Now it's the left-hand side with McCabe. Thompson. Wanted to go down the line there, Alyssa Thompson, but it's back to McCabe instead. And now inside to Nuskin, who shrugged off the ball. And Sociedad will look to come forwards. Kahinova. Nuskin, great work, great to get there. And she was clipped then afterwards, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea.
I mean, I think
it's not a decision you agree with there.
I think Nuskin's got quite lucky, to be honest. I think she's just lost the ball. And, I mean, maybe she was caught, but I think there was very minimal contact in that one. I think it was just a bit of a poor pass. But yeah, Chelsea really not got going in this game. And Sociedad just look a bit sharper. I mean, I know that their season starts on Sunday, which may explain why they are a bit sharper and look a bit more ready for action. But, Chelsea still would have had the same preparation. Just doesn't look like it's coming together at the moment.
Yeah. I always feel those camps in Australia don't ever seem to prepare teams for the best, do they? James lifting the ball into the box, headed away. beever-jones keeping it alive. I mean, you look at Chelsea's pre-season opponents, they haven't really played anyone that's going to test them yet.
Yeah. I'd rather see a side...
Okay, trying to lift it over the top, and that will run through to Alura. Yeah, I feel though, I guess Chelsea looked at it and thought this would be their testing games. Rather than playing their testing games, they just kind of built some fitness in, but it does feel like they've come into this game a little bit unprepared.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think a mix of difficult and easier opponents is always the way to go. I mean, you look at Man United, and theirs has backfired. They've gone for opposition within the WSL and the WSL2, and they've lost every game. And of course, that's
they probably should have beaten Newcastle.
Yeah, but they like Newcastle left, so they should have won those kind of games. So yes, Chelsea have got wins on the board, but I don't think it says too much about how they're going to perform this season.
Here is Thompson inside to Baltimore, and she's brought down in there, and a free kick again for the Blues. And Sociedad doing really well at the moment, just disrupting Chelsea's flow. There's been a couple fouls coming in there now, some good interceptions as well. They've been physical with Chelsea. They're starting to go over the line a couple times, and I do just wonder if that could be to their detriment if they're starting to give away more and more fouls in high areas, so that Chelsea can take advantage of that. And of course, eventually the referee will have to start booking them. McCabe back to Viola Berman.
But I mean, Sociedad, they're only 160 minutes away from the Champions League phase, So that's a win. But yeah, they'll be breaking it down into stages, and the fact they've got through 20 minutes, they're a goal up is I don't think was a position they ever thought they would be in, but a very solid start.
Through the lines, it's a good ball, but I think it's just going to have a little bit too much on it, and Arula able to come and sweep up quicker than Thompson can get there. And the flag's gone up anyway, which I have to say is a bit of an odd call. I wonder if that was on beever-jones rather than Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where that doesn't get given if Arula's pass lands a black shirt rather than giving it straight back to Chelsea. But again, they'll take that Sociedad, another opportunity to take pace out of the game, to run the clock down. Yeah, just seeing that replay, yeah, so it's a fantastic finish. It's an absolutely brilliant finish that I think just catches Hampton by surprise. I don't think anyone in the ground was expecting that to A, go goalwards, or B, float into the corner.
Sociedad coming forwards in Aparicio. Berman doing well to come across and make the challenge. And I think the far touch came off the Sociedad player, so it will be a Chelsea goal kick. Nice updating us, Ajax and Real Madrid still 0-0. Indeed, no more goals have gone in since this game kicked off. Germa now on the ball, cross to Hampton. And now Villa Berman. Back to Hampton. Germa. Gives it back to Hannah Hampton. Now, can she go a little bit more direct, Hampton? Lifting it over the top, looking for Baltimore. It's going to run to Arula, who is struggling there to actually get the ball under her control. Who does eventually stop it going for a corner.
I'm not sure about Baltimore in this 10 role.
No, I was a bit surprised about it, I have to say.
I just don't think she's a number 10. And it's just not working.
Yeah, her passing at times just hasn't really come together. And in that role, you're kind of the crucial creator. So she's now coming forwards, and that's a great ball. Intended to find the winger here. Up against Germa. Tries to go down the line. Looked like she'd gone off the pitch there. I think it has been given as a goal kick. Marcos has looked so dangerous every time she's gotten the ball tonight. Cecilia Marcos. Germa there did well to show her the line. And I think she went over it before playing the cutback.
Yeah, tight one again though. And the eventual shot did need saving and tipping onto the bar from Hampton, although the whistle had already gone. But yeah, again, Sociedad are having opportunities, and the problem is that for Chelsea, it's all right to in these kind of games, it's still some decently good players on the pitch for Sociedad. You don't mind giving up opportunities every now and then, but when you're 1-0 down after 23 minutes, giving up a random chance isn't such a good thing.
Clumsy challenge in there from Sioka Nuskin, and she'll be the first player to receive a card this evening. Just coming across, catching the opponent. I believe it was Ainoa Campo who was brought down there.
Yeah, the fact that's kind of the first that we've mentioned Nuskin's name, I think sums up how her 23 minutes has gone. Really not got involved, and yeah, that is a late challenge and a deserved yellow card. And this is an opportunity for Nuskin tonight with Cuthbert out injured. If she plays well enough, if she puts in a good performance, she gives her a good chance of starting into the season. But yeah, first 23 minutes here, haven't seen her at all.
Yeah, I feel like Nuskin's never really been a player. I don't think she's had many standout games under Bompastor. I know people have kind of criticised Bompastor for not playing her enough, but I just don't think she fits what Bompastor wants from a midfielder. You need someone in there who's very good on the ball. And Nuskin's just not that kind of player. Nuskin's very much suited to much more transitional football, whereas and thrives on chaos rather than this very control and possession-based style that Bompastor prefers. And yeah, she's just not really worked. Drinks break though now for the two sides. Camille Averly, obviously the Chelsea manager just for this evening, in charge of the team talk there. Sonia Bompastor obviously suspended from when she had a go at Katie McCabe. And Camille taking the side for this evening's game.
Yeah, won't be happy with what she sees whatsoever, and I'm sure she's got Sonia Bompastor on the phone in her ear telling her that she's not happy either with the start that the Blues have made.
I reckon she's also having a watch on the Chelsea website.
Maybe, yeah, she's just logged into her account.
Sociedad now playing to the left-hand side. Here is Vicente. Driving that ball forwards, options to the left and right, poking it through the lines. Aparicio plays it wide, and well, that cross from Marcos not quite coming off.
Yeah, just gets too much on it, puts it out for a goal kick. But again, positive from Sociedad. That breaking play for one of the Sociedad players to receive a bit of treatment. Chelsea would hope to try and use that, but on the back foot from it already. Would have been very intrigued to see what Camille had said. She had the Chelsea front four in a bit of a huddle and just had a lot to say to them.
Ball down the line, and that's cut out well by Claudia. Zato says, would someone like Micah Hamano be better than Baltimore as the 10? Yeah, I think you've got a couple options that are better than Baltimore as the 10. I get they want James coming off that right-hand side or operating in that right half space where I think she is better. But you could still play Captain in there. You could still play Hamano. Obviously, I think that'd be Matsukubo's role once she is back from injury. And I thought Baltimore would be used kind of as a rotation option with Thompson. And those two would both feature on the left wing. They can both also play on the right wing. So that gives you a bit of flexibility there. But yeah, no, I don't think Baltimore works in that central role because she's not a great creator. Carpenter trying to come forward. Or a great creator from central position. She's a good crosser and good at working in those wide spaces. But not used to having so little time on the ball as you do in those central positions. And yeah, it hasn't really had a positive impact on this game yet.
Yeah, and the problem is that that's where Chelsea needs someone to get on the ball. Because at the moment, Real Sociedad are very happy to watch James, Carpenter, Thompson and McCabe have the ball in wide areas and just shut down the penalty area. And at the moment, Beever-Jones and Baltimore kind of stood there not getting involved in the game. I mean, this is the kind of match where you want Maya Ramirez just to be crashing around and getting herself about, but also someone for Chelsea to aim for. Chelsea don't have the option to cross it in tonight because neither Sonia Baltimore or Aggie Beever-Jones are going to head it home. The Chelsea need to find a way to penetrate into the Sociedad penalty area because at the moment it's kind of doing a horseshoe around the box and not getting anywhere.
Here's Thompson into McCabe. And back to Hampton, who's ahead of the centre-backs at the moment with how high she stepped up there. Germer. Just going to try to find that pass back out low for a Chelsea throw. And now it's with Hampton. Zato says, I think Thompson will primarily play right winger like she did at the end of last season. I don't see it. I think she'll play much more on this left wing where she's holding the width because of how high Carpenter wants to be. I mean, at the moment, every time Chelsea get the ball, Carpenter immediately goes and plays as a right winger. And you've got McCabe who's going to tuck in. So I think we'll see more of Thompson on this left wing. I think we'll see Bompastor preferring a left footer in that kind of role. Last season, Chelsea often pushed up both centre-backs and were a little bit more reserved in midfield. James, lovely give and go with Carpenter. Space now for the delivery. Delivers it low. It's blocked by Kahinova. And out for a Chelsea corner.
Better. Much better from Chelsea. Just moved it a bit quicker. And that time, although the cross did get turned behind, that time Carpenter had the room to cross it in front of the back line and look to find Beever-Jones. That's the way that Chelsea would find Aggie Beever-Jones in the middle. It's a good interception in the end to put the ball behind for a corner, but that is much more positive from Chelsea, who would very much like to level from this set piece.
Yeah, indeed. They didn't make much of attacking set pieces last season. Is that something they've been working on in the summer? Can they come up with something here? Delivers towards the front post. It bounces through, and Chelsea level in this game. I think Naomi Germer is going to try and claim that, but I think that might be Katie McCabe's goal. The delivery towards the front post just seemed to bounce through a crowd of bodies, and Chelsea level this game in somewhat unconventional circumstances. And I think that might be Katie McCabe's first Chelsea goal. Naomi Germer also celebrating. I think we'll have to see a replay as to who has been given that goal, but Chelsea levelling up in this match. Did Germer get a touch? I'm not sure she did.
No, I think that's just curled and bounced all the way through, and Sociedad would be very frustrated to concede the goal that way. Yeah, I don't think there was a touch from anybody, and Chelsea are back on level terms, which is important. But it's still not been pretty, but it is an equaliser. And yeah, Real Sociedad will be very frustrated that that's the way they've conceded tonight. That's a really poor defending at the front post.
Well, half an hour gone here. 2 goals that really shouldn't have been goals.
Yeah.
And I think that's very much evened it out. And Chelsea now will look to build on that. Naomi Girma has been credited with the goal. So was there a touch in there from Girma? Who knows?
Yeah.
I think both her and McCabe. I'm not sure McCabe would want that to be her first Chelsea goal. But alas, Vernon back now with Hannah Hampton. Girma. Into James, back to Girma. And to James again, playing as a right back at the moment. Lauren James will play it in behind. Ellie Carpenter has timed the run well. Can she find a teammate? Thompson to the back post. Beever-Jones, though, the better option, but the shot from Beever-Jones was just trickling away from goal there. A great chance for Aki Beever-Jones to open her account for the season and put Chelsea in the lead, but just couldn't quite find the target.
Yeah, again, really good from Chelsea. And this should be 2-1. Beever-Jones will be very frustrated that she hasn't found the back of the net. Really nice ball through into the path of Ellie Carpenter, who squares it, puts it on a play for Beever-Jones, who really should do better. She's going to go for the far corner there. Got to use her left foot, but just drags it wide with the right. Has to score that.
Yeah, indeed. Sociedad looking to break away. Walsh committing the free kick. Committing the foul. It will be a free kick in a good position here for Real Sociedad. That really should have been 2-1 Chelsea. Update in the game between Ajax and Real Madrid. It's 1-0 Real Madrid, and Felicia Schroeder with her first goal for Real. And how many times are we going to be talking about Felicia Schroeder scoring for Real Madrid this season?
Wow, she's arrived already. That is a very strong-looking Real Madrid side.
I mean, there was a lot of talk about Chelsea having interest in Felicia Schroeder, and look at that chance there. And you think she probably would have buried that. Sociedad clipping it into the area. Kahinova. Back to Aparicio. Can they deliver the ball into the box? Aparicio. A lovely evade there from Marin. Wide now with Camino. Cleared away well by Carpenter.
Sociedad have got to use set pieces tonight. The underdogs a great opportunity to try and put Chelsea under pressure from dead ball situations. I mean, that was really poor.
Marin trying to carry to the right-hand side, blocked by McCabe, and a corner for Sociedad.
Well reworked, though, in the second phase. Did well to bring it back forwards and to win another set piece. But, yeah, you think you don't want to be messing around with these deliveries. Just want to put them in the penalty area, put Chelsea under pressure in their own 18-yard box, rather than trying to mess it around with the routine.
So, Sociedad have already scored from one corner. Can they repeat the feat? Corner from the right-hand side, delivered towards the front post. It bounces through and off the post. But it is then cleared away by Katie McCabe and out for a throw-in. And, well, corner defending from both sides tonight, with leaving a lot to be desired.
I hope that McCabe had a shout there. But either way, it doesn't reflect well on McCabe at the front post or Hampton. Because if there wasn't a shout, McCabe shouldn't have left that. And if there was, then Hampton, if you're going to shout for it, you've got to catch it rather than parry it.
Claudia throwing down the line. And it's great work from Katie McCabe there. Or Philip Berman, sorry. Drawing the foul. And the referee quick to come across and wants to have a word with Aparicio. Well, some sort of debate between the referee and the right winger. And it ultimately will be a Chelsea free kick. McCabe wanting a short option and shifts it into Walsh. Back to McCabe. Can carry the ball forwards now. McCabe looks to knock it in behind. And that's well cut out by Claudia, stopping Beever-Jones getting in. Karula launching it to the left-hand side. And Girma chesting it down well. James. Under pressure, twists out of it. Lovely footwork from Lauren James. She's pulled back, and that really should be a yellow card. And, well, referee just having a word with Fernandez. I think is quite lucky there not to pick up a yellow card.
Yeah, I think Lauren James kind of lets her get away with one there by the fact that she kind of stopped on her own accord and It was definitely a pullback, but if you carry on there, the defender's either got to let go of you, or it's going to keep pulling and going to get booked.
McCabe now Villa Berman, and here's Germer to the right hand side with Carpenter. Germer, and here's Berman looking to play direct, cut out well, and drops down midfield for Lauren James, who can drive this ball forward. Great move from right to left from James. Here's Thompson. Shifts it back to the number 10. Here's McCabe poking it through the lines. Baltimore, nice turn, tries to force the pass forwards. It comes off the defender and into the hands of Arula.
Yeah, just overplaying it slightly there, Baltimore. Trying to be a little bit too precise. That pass was never really on to beever-jones. The amount of bodies in the penalty area, the fact that it was in such a tight area.
Sociedad coming forwards, ball slipped through the lines. Aparicio trying to cut it back. McCabe does well and then is fouled. And it's a free kick for Chelsea on the edge of their own box. And Sociedad with a number of fouls now committed in this game. Yeah. Something of a surprise. They haven't picked up a yellow card yet.
Yeah, they're just looking to take their we hoping to see out the next 9 minutes and get into half-time level. And yeah, succession of fouls just trying to take the pace out of the game and stop Chelsea from progressing. But hopefully expect them to be punished at some point.
Walsh looking to lift it over the top, and James made the run through. Arula heading away. Carpenter does well just to see it out for a throw-in. Goes direct into beever-jones. Good hold up from Aggie. Needing support and can't quite find a teammate with the pass. Now back with Real Sociedad. Aparicio. Looking to go direct. And really good defending from Villa Berman. Out for a Sociedad throw-in though.
Yeah, don't mind that from Berman. Just not taking any risks. Happy to put the ball out and let her side get back in. But Chelsea would very much like a second goal before we get to the end of this first half.
McCabe then with a throw-in, looking to go down the line. Goes back instead to Berman. Walsh. Across to Naomi Germer. Inside to Nusken and back into Hampton. Germer. Now Berman. Wide to McCabe. Looking to play down the line, and Thompson. Space to exploit here for the American winger. Chops inside well. Now needs a forward option. Tries to squeeze it through the lines. It's intercepted brilliantly by Clara Kahinova, who's able to clip it up the line. Berman picking up on the loose ball. A little bit messy there for Villa Berman, but able to make up for the mistake. And Chelsea hold on to possession.
Yeah, did well there, Berman. Initially got it wrong, but recovered, and with the help of Germer coming across, managed to keep Chelsea on the ball. But yeah, Sociedad very much. It feels like they've dropped a couple of yards deeper. Everything's going long, a little bit more aimless as they look to just see through this level scoreline.
Germer. Wide into Ellie Carpenter. Carpenter down the line now for Nusken. Nusken trying to go direct towards beever-jones. Brilliant goalkeeping. Arula able to move quickly off her line and collect the low cross.
Yeah, important piece of goalkeeping there to beat beever-jones to the ball, because if the Chelsea forward gets there first, either you let her go and she scores, or you end up conceding a penalty. Like it from Nusken, tried to play the ball first time, catch Sociedad out, but good goalkeeping to be aware to that happening.
Beever-jones slipping it through, looking for Alyssa Thompson. Thompson tries to play it across quickly, does well there to win the corner. And Chelsea now, well, can they double their corner goals in this game. Can they take the lead?
Yeah, I think that Chelsea quite happy with getting the corner out of that, because I'm not really sure who Thompson was cutting it back to. There was no one in the penalty area.
I think that is the intention. I think she realised she wasn't going to be able to get a shot away from there. Just knocked into the defender and got the corner. Lauren James over this. James in towards the front post. Shot towards goal. It's blocked. Beever-Jones at the back post. And again, just getting under it and firing over the bar there, Beever-Jones.
Yeah,
I think she's got to do better in that position.
Definitely deja vu from her effort about 20 minutes ago. Just falls to her at the back post from a near side corner, and she end up hitting it way over the bar. She needs a bit of composure there to drill it low and to hit the target. You're very likely to score from that kind of range.
Here is Alyssa Thompson. And shirt pulled there by Clara Kahinova. McCabe into Walsh. Got to play that ball in behind. Didn't really have the option. Germer. Now James. Will lift it over the top, and Carpenter looking to get in. And Arula does well to get it back into her own penalty area. And now can play out to the right-hand side. Aparicio. Camino. Playing over the top. Viola Berman comes across and knocks it back to Hampton. And now Kira Walsh. Lovely pivot on the ball. Baltimore. Tries to play it down the line. It's cut out by Camino. Comes off Baltimore. And out for a Sociedad throw-in.
Yeah, really good reaction from Real Sociedad to going a goal behind. You know, they've done very well to... it's very easy as the underdog when you concede to then kind of slip away and end up conceding a few more. But they've dug their heels in and kept them level in the game. And their reward is that they're only 3 minutes away from going into half-time at 1-1.
Baltimore trying there to poke it forwards. Kahinova. Into Aparicio and back to Arula. Aparicio. Claudia down the line into Camino. Lovely pass around the corner, but cut out by Berman. Nusken into Baltimore. Now Walsh. Lovely turn from Kira Walsh. Finds Thompson out wide. McCabe. Nice give and go with Walsh. Back to Berman. I feel like there's been a few times now where Thompson's got the ball in wide areas and we've just not seen that explosiveness. I want to see it taking players on.
Yeah.
Trying to make something happen. It's been a little too easy to play that pass back. Lovely footwork from James. Speaking of taking players on, sends one toppling over, trying to keep up with James. Thompson. James. Now Walsh. Back to Lauren James. Again, Chelsea just trying to find a way through. Sociedad sat deep. I mean, it's an 6-2-2 is their current shape. Germer into Carpenter, and that ball just slightly in front of Ellie Carpenter. Couldn't quite keep it under control, and clumsily it's out for a Sociedad throw.
Yeah, it's those kind of things that have just stopped Chelsea getting into a rhythm tonight, because that whole move, building up to it for 30 seconds to a minute, moving the ball around, for then a player to let it roll under their foot and go out for an opposition throw. You've just wasted all that time building up the move and building up the pressure. And that is, it's those kind of moments which are the main reason why Chelsea haven't kicked on in this game. Kind of disrupting alongside Sociedad being very solid defensively, Chelsea have also disrupted their own rhythm.
Carpenter. Assertive then, coming into midfield. Nusken into Thompson. And back to McCabe. Wide with Thompson. Now McCabe. Drilling the pass across the back line into Naomi Germer. James. Lifting it over the top. That's a fantastic ball. Looking for Thompson. But apparently Thompson in offside position. She brought it down clumsily anyway. And Alice Thompson just drifting offside apparently there.
Yeah, a touch let it down. I mean, she's offside anyway, so it doesn't matter too much in the end, but she'll be disappointed.
And we've got 1 minute of additional time at the end of this first half, which means we get to use the added time graphic for the first time this season.
Also, love how they're having to use the EFL substitution board. No one thought to put a sticker over that had the Champions League logo or anything. No.
Baltimore into beever-jones and a free kick in there on Real Sociedad. Not sure who it was who brought down Fernandez. But it was a free kick for Sociedad.
Yeah, that should be enough to relieve the pressure, really. And by the time this has been pumped long, that will probably be half time.
Aparicio lifting it into the area, headed in towards the box. Germa heading away. Still alive here though. Marin plays it back, and Nuskin's going to get there. And now James, but that is half-time whistle here at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. It's Chelsea 1, Real Sociedad 1. 2 freakish goals. A Sociedad strike from range on the aftermath of a corner as Marin put them in front after 8 minutes, but a slightly confusing goal. Not quite sure whether to credit McCabe or Goma for it as of yet, but it has gone down as Naomi Goma goal from the corner that brought Chelsea level on 29 minutes. But at the break, it's Chelsea 1, Sociedad 1.
Yeah, a weird half of football, I think, as we say. 2 goals that were quite unorthodox, 2 strikes that you wouldn't really expect to see. An incredible long ranger and a corner goal. But either way, probably, I'd say a level game is probably a fair result. The way that Sociedad have defended and have been resolute. And yeah, Chelsea have had a couple of big chances that they've missed. But apart from that, I think Sociedad are very well at stopping the Blues from getting into any rhythm, breaking the play down, and just making life very difficult for Chelsea to get going. But yeah, Sociedad, full credit to them. Really strong first half and deservedly, level in this game. And Chelsea, the pressure's on them in the second half to find a way to break them down and get themselves ahead in this tie.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it feels just like one of the classic games that we see in the modern day. A side that have had all the ball, not able to find a way through a low block, and Sociedad sprung forwards early. It was their only real shot at the half. Not a lot nothing Hannah Hampton could have done about it. Maybe someone could have closed it down earlier, but felt like a goal that literally nobody could have done much about. And outside of that, it's when Chelsea have had all the chances. Baltimore and beever-jones both should have scored in that first half. Let's talk about that Baltimore chance, because a gift of an opportunity off the underside of the bar really should have been the leveller much earlier in the half.
Yeah, has to score for me. Player of her quality, it's really good from Thompson. Gets to the byline, cuts it back to Baltimore on the edge of the 6-yard box, and for some reason she tries to absolutely thump it into the top corner. Not really sure why. Just needs to place it on target and it's going to go in. A weird decision there from Baltimore to choose to try and absolutely smash it and ends up hitting the bar for what should have been just a very easy goal.
Yeah, indeed. It was a frustrating one. Should have been in the back of the net. A little unlucky that it, even off the outside of the bar, it doesn't go in, that it comes out. But yeah, really should have been the goal much earlier. I say the corner, it's poorly dealt with by Real Sociedad. I don't think Goma gets a touch for me. So I think it's McCabe's goal, but either way, no one from Sociedad able to get anything on it. Outside of that, beever-jones has had a couple big opportunities. What's going wrong for beever-jones in front of goal?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of rustiness, really, just snatching at a lot of opportunities. The 2 back post strikes that we've seen gone blazing over the bar, she's just rushed it, hitting the ball at the top of the bounce and getting under it. That's always go sailing over the bar. There's a forward. Even if you are hitting the ball on the bounce, you want to get over it and look to hit it down and just keep it on target. In these kind of matches, you put the ball on target and you're gonna force the keeper into a good save, or you're gonna find the back of the net. So just needs a little bit calmer and to give that extra second for her to get into the right position to be able to strike the ball properly, but just snatching at a few chances. Had one where Carpenter cut the ball across to her, and she just goes with her right foot, and the direction the ball's always going in, she's trying to pass it into the far corner, and again, just times it wrong. And with your right foot, that's always going to keep travelling wide. You either got to really drive it with that right foot to stop it rolling away, or just let it roll across your body and then just pass it into the near corner with your left foot. But yeah, just needs to take that extra second in front of goal, give herself time to set, get into the right position, and if she strikes the ball cleanly, she's gonna at least hit the target.
Yeah, it does feel though the same kind of chances that beever-jones was missing last season, 2 seasons ago. The timing is often not there, but when it is there, she gets into really good positions. The movement's strong. She's got that pace in behind. It just feels like that composure and that technique with the finishing so often there. Just the biggest opportunity there. I'm not too worried about the shots at the back post where she's trying to get on the end of things, but the one where she gets in behind and then drags it across goal. There's so many better options that she has there. She's saying maybe looking for the left foot to go to then open up and go across goal. Even the right foot, you can still find that finish fairly easily across goal. You could go to the front post as well. Just feels like decision making in front of goal, and the decision making as a whole is letting Chelsea down a little bit in this game. And again, early season, it's first competitive fixture. You're gonna see that bit of rustiness. I think that's what we're seeing in full display. But decision making was a problem that Chelsea had at times last season, particularly some of those younger players, which again is understandable. But it feels like it's persisting this year. I don't think we've seen enough. I mean, Carpenter's getting in some good positions, but it doesn't feel like she's got anyone to aim for with crosses. So it feels rather redundant her trying to cross it. So instead she's going low. Thompson, I don't think we've seen anything from. So many times picked up the ball in those wide areas, not looking to take on the opponent, not sort of showing that explosiveness or that electric pace, not able to sort of take players on. So been quite quiet in this half, and I just don't like beever-jones. I don't like Baltimore in that central role. I think just doesn't have the technical qualities that are really needed in there and the creativity that's really needed in there. So it's just lacking a few things at the moment in those forward areas. And again, these are kind of issues that should be ironed out with games like this.
Yeah, I look at what's gone wrong for Chelsea tonight, and they are the kind of things that are quite simple fixes, or as you say, will be ironed out as the season goes on. Baltimore, I don't expect Sonny Baltimore to feature in the 10 ever again this season. I think once Matsukuro's fit,
I think she will.
Then that'd be disappointing, and that'd be silly because that's not a good decision. So many brilliant attacking midfielders Chelsea have now got within their ranks, and to play Baltimore as that 10 is just bizarre to me, absolutely bizarre. So hopefully that isn't something that develops across the season. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame we don't get to see Matsukubo tonight, and we probably won't see her for the first week or two of the campaign, which is a shame that she's turned up and immediately got injured. Sums up Chelsea, across the last year. But yeah, I don't look at that and think there's too many problems there. A lot of it is just a lack of sharpness, a lack of just a bit of rustiness going into the new campaign. I think that if Sociedad hadn't got, let's be honest, which was a bit of a fluke goal, it's a very good finish, but it's a long range effort that floats into the corner, and it's been their only shot of the game. If that doesn't go in, I think you look at just looking at the scoreline. Chelsea 1-0 up at half time. You take that because you'd expect them to kick on in the second half, get a couple of goals, and suddenly Chelsea win 3 or 4-0. So I think that Sociedad strike is kind of makes this look a lot worse for Chelsea, but I think these are the same issues that we see from whichever English side it is in every single qualifier. Arsenal a bit less so last year, but
2 years ago.
2 years ago, but that does make a difference. United again, they look decent towards the end of the qualifiers, but the opening, the start of the games weren't fantastic. So it's what you expect from these kind of games. And if Chelsea don't kick on in the second half and this finishes 1-1, then a bit of a conversation needs to be had. But I fully expect Chelsea to come out in the second half and see this job through.
So, see any changes at half time?
I would expect to. Yeah, I look at I would be very surprised if Sunday Baltimore was still in the 10. I think you've got Hermano on there. You could even put someone like a Dragoni in there. Plenty of options for Chelsea. You could bring Mallard on and put James into the 10. So many options. I'd expect I would say Bompastor, but I'd expect Camille to shuffle the pack a little bit. With the quality on the bench, I see no. I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't use it. I know you're trying to get players matched sharp and familiar with each other, but I think it's good to keep things fresh and to give certain players a run out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, that is something that has to be mentioned as well. The fact Bompastor isn't on the sidelines, that can make a difference. But this team are good enough to be able to get through a game against Real Sociedad. On Sociedad, been very organised. I think I've been quite impressed with how they've played. I think you can get at them a little bit more though. I feel like Chelsea are a little bit reluctant to try things in the final third. And yes, decision making hasn't been incredible, but there's also been, I think, that goes both ways of sometimes overplaying it, but also sometimes playing a little bit safe and trying to go, or not trying to play that ball through the lines, instead going backwards, playing that safer pass. I get Chelsea want to have possession and want to control matches, but I think you've got to have that bit of risk in there. If not, you end up playing like Arsenal and just not having that penetration. I think that's what Chelsea have lacked in this first half. They had a lot of joy playing those balls over the top. Sociedad are very organised, but they're going to push up and try and press high. And Chelsea have been able to exploit that space in behind a few times. They've got to do that more often. They've got to kind of be mindful of the offside rule as well, because there's been a couple times where that has caught them out. But they find that space in behind. It does feel almost inevitable they're going to find a goal at some point. And I don't see Sociedad's. They've not really come forwards. When they have come forwards, they've not looked incredibly threatening. Of course, they've scored that goal, but it's not a very repeatable action. So, as long as Chelsea can play like they did in the first half with a little bit more penetration and taking a few more risks, maybe some substitutions as well, you think they'll find a way through in this game. But you'd want to start to see them playing a bit more of an attractive style, moving the ball a little bit quicker and combining a little bit nicer. But I wouldn't be too concerned at this stage. Champions League qualifier first leg, and of course they conceded, but that was very much a fluke goal. Outside of that, Chelsea have been in control of this game, but it's just a matter of when of those goals going to come, when they're going to put this game out of sight.
Yeah, exactly that. Baltimore scores her chance, beever-jones scores hers. It's 3-1 at half time. Chelsea are in a strong position. I think that it's nothing revolutionary from Sociedad. It's a deep system, 4-5-1, 11 players behind the ball, playing on the counter. Got a goal in the second phase of a set piece. After winning the corner through a counter attack. That happens in these kind of games. That they do get those opportunities, but they're there for the taking. And I think Chelsea have got to realise that in the second half. And as you say, let them off a little bit with missing big chances and not timing the runs. And if Chelsea just sharpen up a little bit, there's a few goals in this game tonight. And you'd expect with the quality not only on the pitch but on the bench that Chelsea will make do with that. But Sociedad, you've got to give them credit. They've set up well. They've defended quite well. They defend their box pretty decently. The one time they didn't, they let Baltimore get free and she hit the crossbar from 6 yards out. That was a let-off, but that was kind of their only one in across the 45 minutes. Apart from that, I think their box defending has been pretty solid. The corner was really poor. I think that would be my biggest criticism of Sociedad is that with all the chances that they managed to shut down and keep Chelsea out, to concede from a corner bobbling in at the front post, that's really poor. That's basic. So I think that they'll be very frustrated that they let Chelsea score that. I think Chelsea would have scored one way or another, even if that hadn't gone in. But I think they'll be very frustrated themselves that was the goal that goes in. If Chelsea put together a brilliant passing move and it's a lovely goal, you hold your hands up and say, fair enough, that was a brilliant goal. But from a Cape corner just to bounce in at the front post and nobody deal with it, that's a very poor goal to concede.
Yeah, Lotan says, you guys don't watch Liga F teams, so you always underestimate your opponent. Real Sociedad has always been a tough team to break. I don't think we underestimated them. We said beforehand how they were going to play tonight. I think as much as obviously we went 3-0, 4-0 predictions, on the merit of that first half, Chelsea easily could have had 3 goals. Another day Baltimore doesn't hit the crossbar and beever-jones doesn't miss a one-on-one situation on top of Chelsea's slight rustiness. So, yeah, Sociedad, we can give them their dues and say they've defended well in patches, but there has also been moments where Chelsea should have punished sloppiness and they haven't. And outside of a ridiculous goal from range, they haven't really offered much coming forward. So, I mean, yeah, ultimately, it'll be interesting to see how the second half goes. But off the merit of the first half, you would expect Chelsea to kick on and find those goals. They've had the chances. They've looked the stronger side. Sociedad have been well organised, but they've also given up some opportunities that Chelsea really should have punished. There's been quite a few times Chelsea have got in behind and not been able to find that final ball. It's just been a little bit sloppy at times. A little bit of rushness also hasn't helped. I also don't think Chelsea have tested the Sociedad goalkeeper at all yet, Arula. Hasn't had anything to do yet. So Chelsea have got to start getting shots away on target and take these opportunities that they've been given.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those where I think that it goes out saying, this is the third qualifying of the Women's Champions League. There's, every side's going to put up a decent fight. I don't think that, of course, there's some weaker sides in this draw, but even sides like a St. Pölten, they've reached the Champions League before. They can put up a decent fight. I mean, they drew with Bayern Munich a couple of years ago. I think it goes without saying that whoever you play is going to give you a decent game. I don't think anyone is discrediting any opposition. Sociedad come up here, put up a good fight, as I'd expect from any side in the Champions League, really, because this is the pinnacle, this is the big tournament, it's the big ticket, feature. Of course, every side who gets this stage is going to be of a decent standard.
Indeed. Then both sets of players, or at least Sociedad, out for the second half, and the officials, and Chelsea emerging now as well from the tunnels and get back underway shortly. But are there any changes for the Blues? Doesn't look like it.
I just think from a a bit of an attitude point of view there, though, Sociedad and the refs, to be fair, they're kind of running out, eager to get onto the pitch.
The refs want it,
and Chelsea there, it's just leisurely, just walking out like it's a walk in the park, and that sums up why it's 1-1 at the moment. If I'm Camille and Sonia, who will probably be in the stands, and if I'm that Chelsea coaching staff, I'd expect my side to be getting out there, sprinting into position, and being ready and raring to go to put this side to bed in the second half. Just things like that just shows Chelsea aren't quite on it at the moment. Yes, they're the little things, but it's just that difference in mentality. They don't, you'd expect them to become running out, ready and ready to go, rather than leisurely walking out like they're having a kick about in the park.
Absolutely. Sociedad to get us back underway in this game is Clara Cajanova from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. And it doesn't appear we've got any changes in this second half. So Cajanova knocks it back, and we're underway for another 45 minutes here at the Cherry Red Records Stadium. Can Chelsea find the lead in this game? Or can Real Sociedad take an important result back to San Sebastian? Here is Sioka Nuskan trying to play it down the line and unable to find Alyssa Thompson, out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Chelsea don't need to rush things. This is the first leg, and you've still got 45 minutes to go. Just first 5-10 minutes of the second half, get into your stride, get yourselves on the ball, and then look to kick on, look to put Sociedad under a lot of pressure, and ultimately look to find a second goal in this game, and then push on from there. But there's no need to rush, there's no need to overcomplicate things at this point.
McCabe then with the throw-in, looking to go down the line, and we don't know if Chelsea still have the ball because someone's forgot to turn the camera. Here is Lauren James now picking up on the loose ball, though. Has options to the left and right. Plays it across to Berman. Now McCabe bounced inside. First time to Walsh. And now Germer. Wide to Carpenter. Carpenter forced backwards. Here's Germer. Berman. Germer again. Has she got a forward option? James. Berman. Looking to lift it out towards the left-hand side. It's headed away. And out for a Chelsea throw. Berman back now. In possession. And here's Germer. Into Carpenter. Carpenter forced backwards again into Germer. Viola Berman. Back across to Naomi Germer. Carpenter. Inside looking for Nusken. Nusken brought down. Free kick for the Blues. Again, I mean, this is Sociedad have now committed quite a few fouls. They're disrupting Chelsea quite effectively that way. Cleared away well by Vicente and out for a Chelsea throw-in. Beever-Jones chesting her down well. Actually got some support here, Beever-Jones. Now James. Twisting and turning, trying to find a way through. Walsh delivers it low. Great ball from Kira Walsh. Poked home, but the offside flag is up. And I'm not sure if it's Nusken or Beever-Jones who's actually offside. Both challenging for the ball. Nusken poked it home, but is flagged offside. Fantastic ball from Kira Walsh. Had Nusken just gone too early, though.
Yeah, comfortably. Good decision by the assistant. Yeah, Nusken. I think she knew she'd gone too early as well. Great pass and a good finish. Past the goalkeeper who'd been a little bit caught out, but yeah, just moved too early there. Shocker Nusken, but better from Chelsea. A little bit more direct, and if Nusken times that correctly, that would have been 2-1.
Yeah, just got the timing wrong there. Germer. Now to Berman. But Chelsea finding there's still that space in behind. And I feel like Sociedad they're so compact here, which works to their favour, but they're also very high.
Yeah.
Ball played in behind, looking for Lauren James, headed away well by Claudia. Kahinova getting out of pressure. And now Fernandez. Can she find the forward pass? Back to Clara Kahinova. And here is Kira Walsh. Has Carpenter overlapping her. Finds Ellie Carpenter. Pass inside to Nusken. It's well executed. Nusken back through to Carpenter. Lovely move to Beever-Jones. Saved by Arula. And it's offside on Ellie Carpenter anyway. I mean, Sociedad are leaving that space, but they are disciplined. They are using that line well to catch Chelsea offside. But I just feel that eventually Chelsea are going to find that running behind and make something happen from it.
Yeah. It's a difficult way to play because all it takes is one player to step out of line and suddenly you're going to get massively caught out. Or, because if we're looking at the positions Chelsea are taking up, they don't need to be offside. They can afford just to drop that extra half a yard.
Ball catching. The Chelsea defence out here and Berman losing out. And it's run for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, you expect it in these kind of games, but the fact that Sociedad took a corner there rather than trying to, cut it back across the box shows the intent, but makes sense. Set pieces, an opportunity to get players into the 18-yard box, and as I said earlier, I've just put that Chelsea penalty area under a bit of pressure, and you don't know what can happen. They scored their goal from the second phase of a corner. Can they do something similar with this one?
Ball into the penalty area. Hampton pushing it away, and a free kick there on Hannah Hampton. Not really sure why. So a few there, where it doesn't feel like anything's happened, and a free kick's been given.
Yeah, I think, but the striker just jumped with Hampton for the ball. I think there's much wrong with that.
Berman into Alyssa Thompson, trying to come inside, back to McCabe. And the ball slipped through, looking for Sandy Baltimore. Can she get there? Good defending from Claudia, who clears it. And Baltimore getting a touch on it as it goes out of play. So Sociedad throwing on the far side. Who do you think will be the happier of the two managers at the moment?
I think it'll be Real Sociedad. I think that they will be very happy with how this game has played out.
Beever-Jones pulling into this wide channel. Good defending there. But a frustrated cry there from Aparicio.
Yeah, they'll look at this position now, Sociedad, and think that if they can, even if they are to lose from this position, from where we are now, 51 minutes played, 1-1.
Okay, coming down the line with Chelsea, a corner.
But 51 minutes played, 1-1, no matter what happens, they should still be in the game going into next week. They'll be looking at it and go, if we can shut them out, keep it 1-1, maybe 2-1, this shouldn't get beyond 3-1 at this point, and that's what they'll be viewing. And for Chelsea, it's their goal to really try and kill this game off.
Lauren James lifts it in towards the front post, headed away by Aparicio. Thompson able to touch it down to James, who is in an offside position there. Not really sure how that's ended up happening.
Yeah, sloppy. I mean, first of all, the delivery's rubbish. I mean, I think every corner for Chelsea tonight has been really poor. Even the goal that went in, McCabe was, put that at the front post, and three people should have cleared it before it eventually bounced home. And there, Lauren James hits the first man, gets cleared, and then she's in an offside position when Chelsea rework it.
Indeed, looks like a double change for Chelsea. Melvin Mallard and Vika Captime, which I feel are two right substitutions. Thompson goes down the line. Lovely burst of pace there. Had a good challenge from Clara Kahinova. Thompson still battling away, wins back the ball. And now to Baltimore. Trying to find James and does so. What can James do out in this wide space? Now to Baltimore. McCabe. Lovely play between McCabe and James, and hope towards goal. Was that off Beever-Jones or off the defender? Well, it's been given as a corner, and based on the reaction from the Sociedad defenders, they're not happy about it at all. Aparicio quite frustrated by that decision.
It did look like it just come off Beever-Jones' shin and gone out of play. But Chelsea have got a corner and a chance to... Hopefully this can be a better delivery.
Lauren James delivering it into a good error. Villa Berman heads home emphatically right into the middle of the box, and the Sociedad defenders will complain, but they just didn't do their duties there. Berman able to wriggle free, heading across goal, and it's Chelsea 2, Sociedad 1. A really nice header from Berman, a perfect delivery from Lauren James into the middle of the box, and Chelsea have the advantage at last.
Yeah, much better from Lauren James with that delivery. It's right on the money, on the penalty spot, in the danger zone. And Berman does well, heads it into the far corner. It's a good header, well placed. Doesn't try to power it past the goalkeeper, just places it into the bottom corner, nods it home. Yeah, Sociedad will be frustrated by that. Berman's just managed to creep in between the two defenders. And it's a good header from Villa Berman, and Chelsea have the lead here. But two corner goals is not what Chelsea would have hoped for tonight, but it's two goals that put them ahead.
Yeah, indeed. It didn't feel like either were routines either. Just hit the ball in the box, see what happens. Yeah. And they've come away with something off both of them. Two changes then for Chelsea. Malvin Mallard on for her debut, and Vika Captime coming on as well. Sondi Baltimore will depart, who I think struggled a bit in this game. And it is Alyssa Thompson as well.
No, Aggie Beever-Jones.
Aggie Beever-Jones as well, sorry. At least someone's paying attention. McCabe. Into Nuskin now, Captime. So Mallard leads the line now for the Blues. And Captime on into midfield.
She'll want a goal, Melvin Mallard. She'll look at this now, 35 minutes. Chelsea have just taken the lead. She's just come on up against a tiring Sociedad defence. She'll fancy herself to get her first Chelsea goal.
It's quite interesting to see Mallard using that role. Seemingly Bompastor wants that transitional threat from her centre forward. It does then make sense why she's not really been a fan of Myra Ramirez, and why she wasn't too worried about desperately keeping. I mean, Sam Kerr can play that kind of role, but wants that just transitional threat from the forward. It does make sense why they were looking at Rome Leuchter, but I think Mallard is a great fit for that. So Mallard on as the striker in this game. Ball down the line, a bit of a tussle there between McCabe and the opponent. And I think it's gone as a free kick there for Chelsea. McCabe took it as a throw-in, which the ref is having none of. McCabe into Kira Walsh. And now Chelsea just turning down the tempo a notch. Germer. Back to Hannah Hampton. Berman across to Naomi Germer. And now Berman. Germer. Captime back to Germer. Captime twisting and turning well. Here's Walsh looking to slip it through the lines. Mallard into Captime, trying to play it through to Ellie Carpenter. I think would have been offside there anyway. It's a difficult pass to try and pull off. It doesn't quite come off.
Yeah, just too much right there from Captain. But good from Chelsea. They've got to keep the pace up. They've got to keep the pressure on. Because I think it'd be much more beneficial to kill the game tonight by getting a couple more goals. 37 minutes. Yeah, they'll fancy themselves to really kick on and make this 3 or 4-1.
Sociedad coming forwards now. Ball slipped in behind, looking for Aparicio. Good challenge from Berman, but it falls now. And an opportunity, and it's a good strike from Marcos. And Sociedad level in this game. 2 open at the back there, Chelsea. And that's a really tidy finish from the winger. Just opened up. Berman tried to make the tackle, couldn't win the ball back. And Sociedad punished sloppiness at the back. Chelsea 2, Real Sociedad 2.
Wow. Well, scratch thinking about 3 or 4-1. This game's back on. And again, it's from nowhere. Very similar to the first half. Sociedad's first. Real foray forwards in this second 45 minutes. And they just caught Chelsea out. It's a good tackle from Berman to halt the progress initially. But, I mean, it's just McKay gets done completely. And it's a really good strike across goal. Hampton, I'm not really sure she can do too much about it. But, yeah, I mean, McKay gets completely wrong-footed. And it's a very good finish. But, again, Sociedad shouldn't end up in that position where it's 2-on-2. They've punished Chelsea again. And that really should have been dealt with by the Blues.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. McCabe struggling there in the 1v1. Here is James. Now across to Germa. Berman did pretty much everything she could do in that situation. Chelsea just too open. Thompson. Back now to Villa Berman. Nuskunt trying to find Captain. Now ball played over the top. Goma winning it back and knocking it back to Hampton. Drills it into midfield. It's a poor pass from Hannah Hampton. Sociedad just seem to have belief back in them now. And it just did feel Chelsea. It did feel that Chelsea really took their foot off the gas after Berman's goal. And they've just been caught out by it. Vicente bounces it off Kahinova. Ball forwards from Vicente. And Germa now bringing it under her control. Trying to play it forwards. Captain able to let that run towards Melvin Mallard. And Captain was fouled. And it will be pulled back for the foul.
Yeah, I don't know, Chelsea just seem to have had these spells tonight of where they look like they're at 50%. And I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I mean, that's football. Both the goals have just been 10-second moments of just poor defending. I mean, there's not a lot they could have done about the first goal. Second goal just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Bempers a good challenging. It's kind of halfway house defending from McCabe. Didn't really commit or step off. Kind of just stood there.
Carpenter able to keep that in, and it's out for a Sociedad throw-in. Ball gone down the line from Vicente. And here is Nuskunt. That's well in there. Shocker Nuskunt trying to carry this forward, being dragged backwards. And unable to find a way out there of trouble. 3 players around her. Kahinova winning it back. Marcos plays it inside. James with a good challenge to win it back. And now wanting to carry it forwards. Berman into Walsh. Germa trying to lift it over the top. And, well, too much on that.
I mean, I think both options were offside there. Even if Mallard or Carpenter had gotten to end of it. I think Chelsea really struggled with timing of the run. But again, players just haven't really got into this game. I think Nuskin has just struggled a bit in the midfield. Lauren James hasn't really got into this.
I mean, they've just put James into the 10 and put Captain on the right wing.
Yeah.
Which I would have, if you're going to do that and put James in that role, would you not put Baltimore on the right wing? But here is Captain now. Plays it to Mallard, who's in an offside position. I think that's a little harsh.
It is either really poor from Mallard or a really poor decision.
Well, she gets back. It looks to me like she gets back on side there. But I'm not sure if we will get a replay or not.
Yeah, very weird decisions with the front four for Chelsea tonight. Don't know why Baltimore started in the 10. I don't know why we're now watching Captain play on the right wing.
Sociedad coming forwards down the right-hand side. Aparicio dealt with by Berman. And the line assistant referee's lost a flag.
Everyone's struggling with a bit of match sharpness tonight, blimey.
Yeah.
But Berman's done all right. I mean, again, it's kind of hints of last season where Werder Berman's just putting in a very consistent performance while things around her aren't quite going to plan. I don't think the likes of Germa have necessarily done too much wrong. Haven't done too much right.
That's the thing. It's one of those games where I can't really point at a player's performance and say, well, that's the reason we've lost, or point at individual mistakes. It's just been two moments that have cost Chelsea, and then inefficiency from everyone in the final third. It just feels to me like pre-season rustiness.
Yeah.
Two shooting mistakes at the back, many missed opportunities in front of goal, and that's made the difference so far and kind of closed the gap between the two performances.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, this is the kind of performance that beats Auckland or someone like that.
Another change for Chelsea then. It's going to be Lucy Bronze at centre-back. I was just thinking Chelsea's defence didn't look very assured of itself. And so, yeah, that makes sense. Bring Lucy Bronze in at centre-half. Naomi Germa makes way and Lucy Bronze in at centre-back.
I don't get that at all. What are you trying to shore up the defence? I mean, maybe trying to protect Germa's minutes, but I don't really see what that sub achieves.
You've got both Bjorn and Buchanan.
Yeah.
If neither of them are fit, maybe that's why you brought on Bronze, but
you're currently drawing 2-2 in the first leg of a qualifying round of the Champions League. Chelsea should be going out and hunting goals.
Corner then towards the near post. Bronze heading away. And James will play it into Thompson. So much space here for Thompson to run into. It's a one-on-one with the defender. To get it through the goal, Thompson goes to the left. It's a great tackle from Vicente, who gets the ball. And well, Thompson should have done more with that one.
Yeah.
And now Sociedad will look to break. Marcos up against Bronze. It's good defending from Bronze initially, but now she's caught out. Fernandez knocks the ball up well. Bronze forcing her back. And forcing her into knocking it out of play. Great defending that from Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, does well to recover and then not only recover but get the ball to Carlton to be Thompson a moment ago had to do better. 1-on-1 the defender, and again it's good defending because it just forces Thompson to make that decision, and again Thompson isn't direct enough and doesn't make the decision, doesn't work out which way to go, and ends up just running into the defender. Too indecisive from Thompson tonight.
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem to back herself to take players on, and if she doesn't back herself against Real Sociedad, that's a concern going into the season. But again, she's getting on the ball in the right areas, making the right runs, looking sharp, but then just not backing herself to take players on and make things happen.
Walsh now to Berman. I've loved Villa Berman. I don't like her in that role, in the centre of the defence, because she's not very two-footed. And it doesn't open up the play very well. Walsh, lovely pass into Captain. Lovely give and go. Here's Mallard, rounds the goalkeeper. That's fantastic from Mallard. And Chelsea re-establish their advantage. A lovely bit of interplay between Captain, Mallard and Nusken. And Melvin Mallard rounding the goalkeeper and scoring her first Chelsea goal. Lovely bit of play. It's Chelsea 3, Real Sociedad 2.
Yeah, I said that Melvin Mallard would have viewed this as an opportunity coming off the bench to get her first Chelsea goal, and it is a lovely move from the Blues, and this is the football that we've wanted to see from minute one. It's a brilliant combination between 3 or 4 players through the lines. Captain, it receives the ball from Walsh into Captain is absolutely brilliant. Captain sets it nicely to Nusken, who plays through Mallard, times the run well, touch around the goalkeeper, and it's a really cool finish. That is a perfect move between the four of them, and that is what Chelsea and Bompastor have wanted to see from the players, linking up nicely. And when Chelsea play like that, Sociedad don't stand a chance. Much, much better.
I mean, your textbook up, back and through pass, playing it into the player between the lines, knocking it back to a player in space who can then slot it through into the intended target from the first pass. Just, fantastic move. And Melvin Mallard just times that perfectly off the shoulder of the defender, gets in behind, so composed in front of goal, and a lovely finish. But Kira Walsh has been Chelsea's best player so far.
Yeah.
Some fantastic passes. And, Chelsea looking to stretch the play again here. Lauren James trying to find Thompson. And the assistant referee's flag follows.
Too many of them for tonight for Chelsea. And I think that Real Sociedad have done well to hold their line, but been too sloppy.
Yeah, between Thompson and Beever-Jones.
Again, that can kind of happen in these games. First game back to competitive football, you are going to that timing isn't going to be there. But Chelsea, I mean, they must be closing on double digits on offsides tonight, and that's not good enough.
Yeah. Indeed. But that's the composure Chelsea need in the final third. They haven't had that from anyone in the penalty box in this game. Really nice finish from Melvin Mallard, just round the goalkeeper, slotted it home.
And if she puts a decent start together with Ramirez still out injured and Beever-Jones, I'm not going to say struggling because it was only 50 minutes of the first competitive game of the season. But if that is the competition between Mallard and Beever-Jones, moments like that are going to go in Mallard's favour, and that's a lovely finish. And already opening her Chelsea account, that is big. Just to that's already a weight off her shoulders now. Get her first WSL goal on a Chelsea shirt, that's another weight off her shoulders. So the perfect cameo really from Melvin Mallard. And there's still 20 minutes left in this game, and I think that Chelsea have got to now look to kill this tie off. I said that 10 minutes ago, and they let Sociedad back into it. They've got to kill it off now.
It's a massive shame. Cecilia Marcos, who's probably been Sociedad's best player, coming off with an injury, just looked fantastic every time she's been on the ball. The left winger does come off with an injury. Is replaced by Iguiguren on that left flank. But yeah, she's been the most dangerous player for Sociedad, and I think Chelsea's right-hand side will be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief there. They won't have to face her anymore.
Yes.
Hampton with the ball in their feet as Chelsea build out from the back.
Weird one from Hampton tonight. It's one of those performances where you look at the two goals and...
Because you've done anything.
Yeah, it's one exactly those. It's one of those where it's like they're not really chances she could have done much with, but conceding 2 goals is always frowned upon. I mean, maybe it's that awful goalkeeper shirt that she's having to wear. Hideous, by the way. I don't know what the pattern is going on the front.
I mean, I think the only shot on target so far, there's been 3 shots on target. 2 of them she had no chance with. The other one she saved. Not a lot she could have done about that. Another offside there. This time it is Melvin Mallard.
I mean, I can see them from here. That's how clear they are. And that's the concern for Chelsea, is that these aren't tight decisions. These are comfortably 2 or 3 yards offside.
Yeah, Sociedad seem really organised, though, to be fair.
Yeah, they have done.
They're jumping up really effectively as a team.
They do this against Barcelona in the Liga F. They'll give them a good game.
Well, they beat them. They were the only team to beat Barcelona last season.
Yeah. And I think
they are a very well-drilled team under Ruiz.
I think third place is there for the taking for them. I don't look at this game Madrid thinking are going to jump them. Yes, Real Madrid have got stronger. Yes, Barcelona are obviously one of the best sides in the world. But I think they could definitely be looking to, if they do get knocked out by Chelsea, they'll definitely be looking to return to the qualifiers next season with a third place finish. And
of course, I believe still could get to the Europa Cup.
Yes.
So, and I mean, that's a competition I think they would be one of the stronger teams in. I don't think they'd go all the way, but they would be a side that could definitely get into the latter stages.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'd like to make a good go of that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Atleti have changed significantly. A lot of activity there in the transfer market, but how much of a step forward has that been? Obviously, Sociedad have lost a lot of key players. Carpenter, Nuskun lifting it in there. Thompson can't get there with the header. Running out of play. And Thompson chasing it down well, but unable to win that ball there off of Aparicio. Out for a throw-in.
Chelsea want another goal. Taking a 2-goal advantage into the second leg, I think would just be enough.
It's not enough though to like completely rotate the side
No.
and take that kind of risk. And I think that's what Chelsea wanted to do. It's a bit of an odd one that they've got to play on the Saturday after the Champions League games, when they could have quite easily played on the Sunday. And no other team in the league is playing. But, you know, why would we ever question the WSL fixture list?
We've got different times this year. We can't complain.
We'll take what we can get.
Yeah. Year by year, we'll just keep chipping away at all different problems.
Kahinova back now with Claudia, launching it away. Now Nusken back to Bronze. Berman into James. Back to Villa Berman. Bronze. Berman. Here's Melvin Mallard. Can't quite get that out of her feet. Does well there to win it back. Great work. Great from Mallard. Nusken now knocking it wide. Carpenter overlapping. Has she got support in the box? Lovely chop back at Carnery-esque. Plays it in there and Lauren James in on the act. It's Chelsea 4, Real Sociedad 2. Lovely play from Ellie Carpenter. And well, we thought we'd missed the Carnery chop this season. Maybe we won't, because she's been teaching Carpenter everything she knows. A lovely chop inside. Drills it low into the penalty area and Lauren James emphatically smashing it home. It's Chelsea 4, Sociedad 2.
Yeah, brilliant from Ellie Carpenter. And you know it's good play when Lauren James has the easy task of just running into the football and it hitting the back of the net. It was that good of a ball in that it was a very easy finish for James, but much better from Chelsea, much better from Carpenter. Lovely play down this right-hand side, puts it on a plate for James. And yeah, Chelsea with a 2-goal cushion for the first time on the night. And they'll be looking at this now with 15 minutes to play. Get another 1 or 2 goals in this tie that is out of sight.
That's what they got to do. And I think after when they took the lead at 2-1, they seemed to just turn it down and try and see out the game. They've got to turn it up. Go to another level. Go and make this 5-2, 6-2. Then you can go to San Sebastian and not be too bad. But Marin breaking in behind and is offside. That's a bit of a let-off because that was a miscommunication between Hampton and the defence. And Bronze was never going to get back up to it.
Yeah.
Offside flag, though. It's Ray saving Chelsea's bacon somewhat. Marin had gone too early.
Yeah, Chelsea can't afford to go to sleep.
Ball lifted over the top. Looking for Thompson. Heads it to James. Lovely footwork from James. Unorthodox defending there. From the midfielder, recovering midfielder, who just sort of jumped on top of the ball. I've never seen that before. Third out now for Sociedad throw-in, I believe. And well, changes now coming for Sociedad, and it is Vicente, I believe, that has made way. The left back. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of graphics here. There is a change for Chelsea as well. Micah Hamano coming on. Was trying to work out the Sociedad changes first. Obviously, the Chelsea coverage more interested in the Chelsea changes. Lauren James making way after that goal, and Hamano then on into the 10. And we saw Hamano and Captain work really well together in the opening game against Manchester City last season. We never really saw that again. But I think it's definitely a relationship that can be built on this season.
Yeah.
And obviously Hamano and Matsukubo already have a great relationship. So hopefully we see those two playing together a fair amount as well. We haven't seen the Sociedad changes, by the way. So
I want to say it was number 10 and number 23 that came on.
Yeah, it was definitely Izagirre, the midfielder. The number 10, but
no,
yeah.
23 was Hamano, wasn't it? So 20, I think, was the change. If there's a 20 on the bench, if not, if there's an 8.
They don't have a number 20.
Is there an 8?
No.
Okay. Don't know what board I was looking at then. Different one.
Chelsea will be building out from the back. Bronze to Berman. I think that is Marin who's come off, though. The number 8, the forward.
Is there a 23 on the bench?
I believe it is Carlotta Chacon. the number 26, the striker that's come on.
Yeah, close enough.
Ball played long, looking for Chacon. One back, though, by Berman. I wonder if it is Chacon, actually. I think that is Aguirre that's gone up front. Bronze into Walsh. Back to Lucy Bronze. And now Berman. Bounced back by Hermano into McCabe. Berman. Cross to Bronze. Ball lifted over the top, and it's going to run right the way through to Arula.
I'd rather it run through the goalkeeper because it was aimed for Nuskin, who was offside again.
Sociedad trying to play out. Mallard chasing it down with intensity. Held on too well, though, by Sociedad.
One more goal, and I think Chelsea can rotate next week.
Thompson hounding the opposition defence, lumped forwards while shedding on. Cahinova wins it. That's a clumsy header backwards from McKay, but Berman bailing her out. Now Hampton. Berman. McCabe. Mano can't quite get there. It's cleared all the way through to Hannah Hampton.
Chelsea just done enough to see this through, but again, they've dropped into that management mode. And I'm not really sure why. They're not playing for another 7 days. Just keep pushing.
Nuskin into Carpenter. Captain Carpenter. I mean, is it fitness? No, it's still pre-season.
Yeah, maybe.
Bronze. Walsh laying it through the lines. Matt's going to try and get there. Arula off her line, and the offside flag follows.
Tell you what, these assistant referees are getting a good arm workout tonight from these Chelsea forwards. Blimey.
If they're being assessed, they're in the manager.
Yeah. Chelsea must be near 15 offsides. It's absolutely absurd. Credit to Sociedad. It's a well-drilled line.
I think that's been the bigger talking point. Until we see Chelsea against a different opposition, we can't really see if it's a Chelsea issue or just a very well-executed backline.
I look forward to next week. Same problem. If I'm Aston Villa and Arroyo, I'm bringing my line right up.
And a foul in there on Kira Walsh and a Chelsea free kick. Yeah, of course, Chelsea opening the campaign against Aston Villa, definitely. A very similar test, I guess, in a way, to Real Sociedad. It's almost the perfect setup. Of course, Sociedad, Natalia Arroyo's former club before leaving to join Aston Villa. And they've got a lot better since Arroyo's left Sociedad. Ruiz came in and did well. Ball in behind. Chance now for Mallard. Squares it to Hermano, who does poke it goalwards, but just took all the pace off the ball.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go on Hermano's side there, and I think Mallard's got to put a better ball across. I think she's fizzed it a little bit too hard to the point where Hermano's on the stretch and she only managed to get studs on it. I think that needed, with the amount of time Chelsea had there, I think that needs to be a softer cutback from Mallard.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think as well, though, Hermano has the time there to bring it down. Yeah. I don't think she recognised that, but she's got the time to bring that down and just solid past the keeper. But that really should be 5-2. Nuskin into Mallard.
Mallard's look lively.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed watching Mallard hit. Just the timing movement's been really strong. Yeah, she's still been offside a couple of times, but
who hasn't?
That's why I'm kind of inclined to say it's more about the Sociedad backline than Chelsea because of it's not been one player flagged offside 10 times. It's been across Thompson, Mallard, and of course beever-jones. But yeah, they've been jumping the lineup really well. Strike says Lucy's been good since coming on. It has to be said, yeah. I was a little wary because her performance at centre back last year were incredibly worrying, but she has done a very decent job in that. Hampton into Bronze.
But she's done exactly what Chelsea need in this moment. She's not overcomplicating things. She's not trying to trying to do something too difficult. She's just getting the basics right, remaining composed, remaining calm, and just doing her job. And that's exactly why she's come on in this situation, because she has got that experience just to shut up shops really defensively for Chelsea.
Can track down there by Esther, and that will be a free kick. That was the other change. Sorry, Esther Laborde.
Yeah, first yellow card of the night for Sociedad. It's taken 82 minutes, but they've got one.
Yeah, a little late, has to be said, and it is for a substitute. But a blatant yellow card there from Laborde, pulling back Nuscombe. You do just get the feeling Chelsea could do with another goal in this game.
Yeah.
Make next week's job a lot easier.
Because at 4-2, if Sociedad get another goal tonight or they get an early goal next week, suddenly it's game on again.
Walsh. Now Bronze. Cross to Viola Berman. Now wide into Thompson. Lovely shimmy inside. Mallard plays it back to McCabe. Across the back line into Bronze. Walsh. Hermano. Lovely pass into Mallard, who just can't quite hold it up. And now Sociedad will look to break. Cahinova. Laborde. And that pass forwards is cut out well. And Bronze here can carry it down the right-hand side. Swapping roles with Carpenter for the moment. Has Hermano in support. Just delays that pass too long in there. And then has to try and force the ball through the line. So it's cut out. Nuscombe. Walsh. Nuscombe. Now Bronze. And here's Viola Berman. Bronze. Nuscombe. Into Walsh. Makes the firm challenge. And it's gone for a Sociedad throw. Not entirely sure how.
I think it might get a free kick. I think accidental. I think Walsh just caught her opponent on the follow through, but nothing in it. But yeah, I think Chelsea will be happy with the Chelsea bench. Will be happy with the reaction in this second half. Still not been fully convincing, but looked better and been a little more dangerous coming forwards. And at the end of the day, as we say in these kind of knockout games and these kind of qualifiers, just get the job done. Yes, at the end of the day, yes, it's competitive football. Yes, we're only 9 days away from the WSL season, but equally, just get these games done. Get yourself into the league phase with zero faff and no injuries, no fitness concerns. Just get the job done.
Walsh is dispossessed in there, and now Sociedad can look to break. Ball slipped through the lines. A chance now for Asper. That's not come off. Good challenge in there. Aparicio just couldn't quite work her way past Viola Berman. Vicente forced backwards. Now Sociedad playing to the right-hand side. I mean, they'd love a goal. Give them a little bit more belief headed into their home tie. Thompson here tasked with defensive duties. Able to make the challenge and stop Camino coming forwards. Out low for a throw in half the pitch.
Chelsea look like trying to see out a 2-goal lead here.
Yeah.
Rather than kicking on and pushing on for more. And Sociedad and Sandy kind of going for it. I think they will view that if they go for it and they concede a third, that's less harmful than if they if they can get a third, then get another goal. Sorry, and half the deficit to 1.
Yeah, Mallard battling away. Here's Hermano. Back to McCabe. Now Berman. Bronze. Berman. Now Captine. Bronze. Across to Viola Berman. Bronze. Ball play through the lines, and well, Captain lets it go, and here's Carpenter. Squares the ball, looking for Mallard, and it's another goal for Melvin Mallard on debut, brace in this game. And that was really intelligent play from Captain. Realised she was offside. Carpenter came bursting through, plays the ball across the box, and Mallard touches home her second of the evening. It's Chelsea 5, Real Sociedad 2.
Superb awareness from Vika Captain to realise she was in an offside position. Carpenter was in an onside position. Reads the game well. And again, it's really good from Carpenter. Runs onto it nicely. It's a really good ball across the box. And Mallard has a similar easy task to Lauren James for the fourth of just passing it into an empty net. Brilliant awareness from Captain. Great football from Carpenter. Another assist for her tonight. And Melvin Mallard at the double off the bench. A brilliant way to introduce yourself to the Chelsea fans and to really kickstart her campaign.
Yeah, indeed. And definitely giving the Chelsea management team something to think about. With Sociedad next Wednesday and Aston Villa on the Saturday afterwards. 9 days till the WSL season starts. Who is going to be the striker in that opening game? Well, Melvin Mallard certainly making a very strong case that it should be her that leads the line. Captain into Nusken. Sling away still.
He just feels that kind of puts it beyond doubt. I don't see Sociedad winning by 3 next week. 2, still a game there. They only need to win 2-0, take it to extra time penalties. 3, just gives Chelsea that cushion. If they can get one more in the final few minutes here, that would really put it beyond doubt.
Here is Walsh. Plays to the left-hand side. And then back again into Berman. Bronze. Nuscombe. Turns nicely, finds Carpenter. Here's Nuscombe. Cleared away convincingly there. Nuscombe's delivery. Aparicio able to deal with it. Ball out of play for a Sociedad throw-in.
Probably expect a few minutes of added time. Another Sociedad change. Is it happening now? It is happening now. Number 27 coming on.
Indeed, and that is my favourite name from the Sociedad bench. Is Sassi Sasamendi.
What a name that is. Replacing number 19.
Indeed, and that is another change there. Forward line, Aparicio. Making way for Sassi Sasamendi.
Reminds me of Ilaramendi.
Yeah, another Sociedad player, Aisha Ilaramendi. But no. I know it's Sassi Sasamendi. Fantastic name. We have got 4 minutes, I believe, of additional time. There's either 4 and 9, but it's 9. I don't know what game they've been watching. It is indeed 4 minutes of additional time in this game. And Chelsea, I think, will be quite happy with the position they are in now. Headed into that second leg in San Sebastian. We said they really wanted a 3 or 4 goal advantage going into that away leg. They've scored 5. Unfortunately, they did also concede twice.
I'll take that. I said a 3-0 win. That's a 3-goal margin. That's a half right prediction.
Yeah. If you're going to claim that. After trying to clear it away. That was by Bronze and left for Hannah Hampton.
We did have a couple of correct predictions last season. Hopefully we can pick up some more across this campaign.
I don't think anybody said 5-2 though.
No.
Tonight had a few 6-1s, 5-1s, but no 5-2s. If I remember correctly. Here's Berman. Back now to Hampton.
A weird night. Chelsea fallen behind, levelled up, retook the advantage.
Carpenter finds Captain. Who can she pick out with the pass? Now into Kira Walsh. McCabe, Hermano. Plays it forward, slip through the lines, looking for Captain, trying to go around the keeper. And it's really brave goalkeeping, really good goalkeeping from Arula. Here comes out and stops Captain. 2 minutes left of the additional period.
Yeah, very good goalkeeping, very brave goalkeeping. And do you know what? I have a lot of respect for the fact that she, even though Caroline did get there and make a bit of contact with her, she just got up and gone with it. Didn't roll around and take the free kick.
Hampton. Now Bronze. And it's Hampton. Out to Lucy Bronze on the right-hand side. Looking to knock it in behind. Well, nobody able to get on the end of that. Here's Arula. Clarinova. Ball down the line. And Bronze able to assert herself well. Over-asserting herself and committing a foul.
Yeah. I think it's just a bit of an unlucky one. She looks to lean forward and lean into the player. The player then moves forward, so Bronze kind of just toppling over her.
Chelsea pressing hard, forcing Sociedad backwards out to the right-hand side now. Ball forwards, looking for Marin. And Carpenter able to win it back. Here's Mallard. Could Chelsea find another one in this game? Well, everyone's offside again. So no. Ball doesn't find its way through anyway. Carpenter back to Lucy Bronze. Back to Hannah Hampton. And that will be all she wrote for this evening's action. Chelsea 5, Real Sociedad 2 in the first leg here at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. Chelsea with a 3-goal advantage headed to the second leg in San Sebastian. It wasn't a 5-star performance, although there were 5 goals in it for the Blues. They conceded early to Marin. Were able to level the tie through Germa. Berman put them in front only for a few minutes for Marcos pulled Sociedad level. But a late splurge of goals, 2 from Alvin Mad and 1 from Lauren James, gives Chelsea a healthy lead heading to San Sebastian next Wednesday. Not a vintage showing, but some good signs from Chelsea in this game.
Yeah, Chelsea got better as the game went on, and as we said, did the job. First leg, going into that second 90 minutes with a 3-goal advantage and a very good position, and they should be able to rest up and rotate a little bit going into that second leg to prioritise the WSL opening weekend, which is only 3 or 4 days after that. So overall, things to work on for Chelsea, but positives to take from that game. Good recovery in that second half, and Melvie Mallard kick-starting her Chelsea career with 2 goals. Very, very exciting stuff from her. But on the whole, good enough from Chelsea on the night to see off a very good and well-drilled Real Sociedad side.
Yeah. Play out of the match, who would you go for?
Ooh, I'll go Kira Walsh. Instrumental in that second half, played superbly throughout. And some of her passes and the way she dictated the play, phenomenal once again.
Yeah, I was going to say Kira Walsh as well. To be different, I'm going to say Melvie Mallard, a brace off the bench on her debut. Don't think she could have had a better half an hour. I think Kira Walsh was absolutely fantastic. I think Carpenter, an honourable mention as well, didn't show, I think, her best side last season, but was really strong this evening. Yeah, lots of good performances from Chelsea players. Bronze came on, did a fantastic job, didn't really put a foot wrong. Berman had another great showing in a Chelsea shirt. A bit of some faltering moments in attacking areas, but broadly a really nice performance from Chelsea. Some weird defensive moments, but ultimately, for 89 minutes of the game, their defence was excellent in those just pockets of stupid moments. Yeah. They conceded goals, but yeah, not a bad showing at all from the Blues and a healthy lead. Player of the match, I'll say Melvie Mallard, a lovely brace on her debut, 2 well-taken goals, and if she can continue like that this season, then that will stand her in good stead. That, though, is everything from us today. I hope you have enjoyed our first stream back for the 26-27 season. And, of course, make sure to join us for more. We're back this time next week for Chelsea versus Real Sociedad, the second leg in San Sebastian. And, of course, next Friday, the WSL season is back. Can't wait to get into it. That is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.